שלום לכל ישראליתים בישראל ברעמים של לשונה אנגלית. אני כהן, זקן אסף בנמי קריספין לוי מיישוב ישראלית מברזיל. והעניין שלנו לדבר התורה של יהוה מפני התורה הרעים שלנו. Here, Elder Assaf Benami Crispin Levi from Yishuv Israelite of Brazil. And we're going to continue with our studies about the Torah because the Torah is our life. I'm not speaking about the religions because the religions are things of the man, but I want to speak with you about the Torah, the Devarim, the words when came out from Yahweh's mouth. And we're going to continue our study. We stopped in the former study in the 1860. And now we're going to the item 61, and we'll speak about the sacrifices they allowed. All animals to be sacrificed must be without blemish. Vayikra chapter 22, verses 21. And when a man brings a peace offering to Yahweh to complete a vow or a voluntary offering from the cattle or the sheep, each is to be perfect, to be accepted, let there be no defect in it. And as you can read in the Torah, okay, and we must not offer Yahweh one cattle or sheep, okay, with any defect, just pure. And our titles, okay, Yahweh doesn't receive the rest. He wants the pure. He wants the maser שלנו, the title שלנו, not by the half of then complete, okay, and a cattle or sheep, it is to be perfect. An offering, a maser, is to be perfect, to be accepted. Let there be no defect in it. It's Yahweh's law, okay. It's Yahweh's law. It's very important to observe Yahweh's law in these last days because it's our life. It's going to free you from the sickness, from the virus, from the violence, from the robbers, from the terrorist attempts, because the Eternal One says in Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 28, when you keep my Barit Olam, my eternal covenant, the Devarim words of the Barit Olam, I will astray for you all diseases, all call Ra. If the enemies comes for one way, and they will flee to seven ways. Okay. Well, let's see this commandment in the Torah or a law. In the time of Abraham's time, Job's time, okay, this item number 61. Bereshit. Chapter 15, Bereshit. Chapter 15. Chapter 15, verse 9 to 11. Verse 9 to 11. And he said to him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer and a 3-year-old female goat and a 3-year-old ram and a turtle dove and a young pigeon. And he took all these to him and cut them in the middle and placed each half opposite the other, but he did not cut the birds. And the birds of prey came down on the carcass, and Abraham drove them away. You can see here the obedience of our father Abraham's, because he prepared the cattle, he prepared the heifer, he prepared a female goat and 3-year-old ram, all perfect to offer to Yahweh, because Abraham feared to Yahweh's commandment. The words that come out from Yahweh's mouth. And when that impure animals came to sit down upon the sacrifice, Abraham drove them away. Okay, because all our sacrifice, all our offerings, all our titles must be perfect to be accepted before the Eternal One. We're going to see this commandment, this mitzvah, in the time of Yahushua ben Yosef. Gileana, Revelation, Apocalypse, Gileana, Revelation, chapter 5, Gileana, Revelation, chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 6, 9, 10. And I looked and saw in the midst of the throne and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, a lamb standing, as having been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim, sent out into all the earth. And he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him sitting on the throne. And when he took the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and a gold bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of the set-aparted ones. And they sang a renewed song, saying, "You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slain and have redeemed us to Elohim by your blood, out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation." Okay. Then you can see here in the 10, "And made us sovereigns and priests to our Elohim, and you shall reign upon the earth." Then you can see the lamb that were slain, or being Yahushua HaMashiach, pure, without defects. Okay. And he walked along the Torah, keeping Yahweh's commandments. Well, we're going to the item number 62. Item number 62. All offering must be salted. All offering must be salted. Vaikra chapter 2, verse 13. Vaikra. All animals to be sacrificed must be without blemish. It was the 61. Now the 62, all offering must be salted. Vaikra 2, 13. And season with salt every offering of your grain offering, and do not allow the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your grain offering. With all your offering you bring salt. Then in all offering that you make, for example, the bread of Shabbat, and the offerings in the Pesach, the lamb, in Shavuot, in the Hag Hamatzot, in Sukkot, in Yom Teruah, we must all these things that we bring to offer the Eternal One to be blessed, we must put salt on it. None of them must be with salt. Okay? Well, let's see that in the oral law, the Torah oral law. Bereshit 19, 26. Bereshit chapter 19. Bereshit chapter 19. Bereshit chapter 19. 26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a post of salt. We can see, because all of us were going to be offered to Yahweh one day, and many of ours, okay, is going to be burned, and the others will be called up to Yahweh's bosom to stay with him forever. A new age, a new generation. Okay. Those ones that kept the commandment of Yahweh, the Torah, will be in Yahushua. You reign with Yahushua in the 7th millennium. And the others didn't wake up they will wait until the 8th millennium, the end of the 7th millennium, to be judged in the judgment of the living and the dead ones. Okay. But because this, it's important to obey the Torah, not the religion, not the books of religions. Okay. And when the Lot's wife was transformed into a statue of salt because he was disobedient to the voice of the Malach of Yahweh. Okay, and the whore heart was in the deletions of Sodom and Gomorrah. Like many Israelites, many people nowadays have your hearts in the things of Sodom and Gomorrah, the prostitution of Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, let's go to the item, this item 6:2, in the time of Yahushua, Luke, chapter 14, verses 34. Luke, chapter 14. Verses 34. The salt is good, but if the salt becomes tasteless, with salt shall it be seasoned. The salt is good, but if the salt becomes tasteless, with what shall it be seasoned? Then when the Eternal One ordered this commandment, this mitzvah, all the sacrifice must be salted, because he knows all the construction of our body. Okay. Because our body is composed of many chemical elements. And the Eternal One knows all the weakness and the strongness of our body. Okay. Well, let's go to the item number 64. Okay, 63, sorry. Okay, 63. The law of the burnt offering. Vaikra 1:2-17. Vaikra 1, chapter 1, verse 2-17. Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when any one of you brings an offering to Yahweh, you bring your offering of the livestock, of the herd, or of the flock. If his offering is a burnt offering of the herd, let him bring a male, a perfect one. Let him bring it at the door of the tent of meeting for his acceptance before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. And he shall slaughter the bull before Yahweh, and the sons of Aaron the priest shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around on the altar, which is at the door of the tent of meeting. And he shall skin the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. And the sons of Aaron, the priest, shall put fire on the altar and lay the wood in order on the fire. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall arrange the piece with the head and the fat on the food which is on the fire on the altar, but its entrails and its legs he washes with water. And the priest shall burn all of it on the altar as a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if his offering is from the flock, from the sheep, or from the goats, as a burnt offering, let him bring a male, a perfect one. And he shall slaughter it on the north side of the altar before Yahweh. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall sprinkle its blood on the altar all around. And he shall cut it into its piece, with its head, its fat. And the priest shall arrange them on the wood, which is on the fire on the altar. But the entrails and the legs he washes with water. And the priest shall bring each all and burn each on the altar. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if the burnt offering of his offering to Yahweh is of birds, then he shall bring his offering is turtle doves or young pigeons. And the priest shall bring each to the altar, and shall wring off its head and burn each on the altar. And its blood shall be drained out at the side of the altar. And he shall remove its crop with its feathers, and throw it beside the altar on the east side, into the place for ashes. And he shall split it at its wings, but not sever it. And the priest shall burn it on the altar, on the wood that is on the fire. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. Well, our time is resumed, and I'm going to explain this item in the next Thursday, okay? Thank you very much for your attention. May Yahweh bless you richly, you and the family, okay? And תודה רבה לשים לב שלך, יהוה ברוך אתה ולמשפחה גם. זה רע אחד ברכה של הזקן אסף. יהוה עמכם, נתראה קצר ביום רביעי. שלום, שלום לכולם.